Shit.
Yeah, you are on camera.
I was doing my best Elon Musk interpretation.
Yeah.
Or Hitler.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, the Midwest's most dangerous podcast, coming to you live from the Nika IBW Power in Indiana Lake County studio.
Can one of Kevin's many enemies clip that and just start posting it on social?
I'm sure.
Yeah, he did the.
That's a
But you can do that
He
anyway.
did the Elon Musk salute.
The Roman salute.
The Roman salute.
Thank you, Elon, for bringing the Roman salute back in the.
Yeah. Buy stock in boot wax.
Yeah, before you know it, we're going to need those.
You can't have
good.
dirty boots when you goose step.
Yeah, I was going to say goose step. I want to see Elon Musk goose step next. Why not? Right?
Yeah,
At this
right.
Oh,
point.
that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
No coordination.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a Roman salute until this controversy started.
John, I always thought it was a Nazi salute.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, it's the Roman salute.
It's like the
I thought it was a
centurion.
Nazi salute. My bad.
Can we all agree?
Good to know it's a Roman salute, not a Nazi salute. Thank you.
Can we all agree? Whatever he did it on purpose.
Yes.
Okay, it wasn't. An
We all agree on
accident.
that, Joe.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
100%. It was
100%.
premeditated
He did it
murder.
twice.
He did it twice. He did
Premeditated
it with
murder. I love
emphasis. It was emphasis, right?
For sure.
He's like, dunk, dunk, boom.
And he's like,
Yeah.
he even
He's
said,
like, oh, the Roman salute.
He even said like,
Yeah.
And he did it
'Cause
twice.
he's like a little pipsqueak. He probably hits him in the chest. He's like,
It's like South, like this guy,
Like wheezes, a little
South
wheeze.
African. Like it's like, come on, dude.
Dude, I want nothing more than to be able to defend that side, and I can't defend. Whatever he did,
It's
he did it on
indefensible.
purpose. All
He
these
just-
people saying, "Oh, he was just, love." My heart goes out to
Well,
you.
John, your theory was that he was trying to like get headlines.
Yeah.
And I read a couple articles that were right in tune with what your theory was.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
like the
worked.
guy. He's trying to like one up Trump.
It
He's
worked.
a freaking like a little pathetic, small penis like guy that has no confidence at all. Like, and he's a billionaire.
Doesn't he have, like,
for freaking God's sake?
Like 13 kids through like 11 women or something.
Yeah.
It's like some
and
insanity,
his,
dude.
his oldest kid will have nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
And it's she now. She changed sex, which is why he wants nothing to do with her anymore.
course.
And then she has been disinherited.
Oh,
Man, I would have kept my penis just for that reason alone if I was her.
well.
Nah.
I mean, seriously, like $100 billion man, he cuts her off.
Yeah, but who knows?
Dude,
By
you
the
got to go
time-
get a job.
By the time he's gonna die, he could like cut them all off. Like.
But was she
who knows what
really
he's
in the
gonna
will?
do.
Like, we don't know that.
We don't even know.
I'd imagine.
No,
What
who
kind of
knows?
dad doesn't?
He's a dick.
I
You
mean,
don't know
right?
that.
Jag off.
Like, who knows what he's gonna do? For
Allegedly.
Alleged
Allegedly. I
jag
don't
off.
want Elon suing Lockpod.
No, he
Yeah,
could cut
right.
us off.
We'd
Of,
make
he could cut us
headlines,
off
though.
of X.
But he's a public figure at this point, right?
We are on X, right?
We are an
Oh
X.
yeah.
Sorry, Master Elon. My bad.
I mean, he already drove Vivek away.
Yeah.
Vivek's now
That's
going
the
to maybe
rumor.
run for governor in Ohio, but like he's like out of Doge.
Governor of Ohio, huh? I mean, it's an
Yeah.
important
Allegedly.
spot, man.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Gotta win, though.
If you want to really go down a rabbit hole on this salute thing,
I do.
there is a clip from Elon's father
No.
who's on a podcast for 2 minutes talking about how Elon's grandparents were like Nazi sympathizers.
There
What?
you go.
They
I'm
moved from
shocked.
Canada to South
Shocking.
Africa because they were like for the apartheid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
pro-apartheid.
Pro-apartheid.
Apartheid.
I want to be close to it.
They were?
Yes.
They were pro-apartheid?
Put me
I've
in the
just
mix.
made that up. Don't sue
No,
us.
no. I think John said
Don't
that.
sue us.
This is Elon's dad talking about
Said they
Elon's
were
grandparents.
pro-apartheid.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Like
Nice.
So
the views expressed on Lockpod are those expressed by the
allegedly,
allegedly.
you know what
We're
I
just
saw.
going to start saying allegedly in every
We
sentence.
have to. Yeah.
Then we won't get sued anymore.
Welcome to episode 7.
Yeah, dude. Yesterday, so like we had the frigid cold last week, right?
This week,
Well, so it warmed up like a smidge yesterday.
like 20s.
It was
Yeah.
balmy.
It felt
yesterday.
like I was on a summer vacation.
So I leave with no coat. I have just a hoodie on. I'm like, because I don't go outside like for prolonged periods. I'm like outside just going from my car to wherever I
Sure.
am, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I could just wear a hoodie, right? I got like long sleeves underneath it. So I'm like in a hoodie. And then the damn sun went down last night. Holy
It was
crap.
cold last night.
It was frigid. It was
so cold.
freezing. I'm like, I'm never
It
doing
got
this
down to like
again.
single digits again last
I
night.
know.
I think it's like single digits now, isn't it?
4.
All right, there you
It's
go.
supposed,
Thank you,
it's
Joe.
supposed to warm up to the 20s and 30s. So
Oh,
for those of you,
I thought it was 12 today.
oh, but it's supposed to warm up tomorrow. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. This is the last day. Of
I mean,
the
literally,
deep
when
freeze.
you're in negative temperatures or single digit temperatures and it gets to 30,
yeah,
it's
you
like
think it's warm.
it's like it's
It fools you.
summer vacation, man.
Well, if it's 50, it's literally
Oh,
summer vacation.
for
You're like
sure.
riding your bike outside and swimming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But like if you're in like July and it dipped down in the 50s, you would think the world was coming to an end. Like, what the hell is going on? But 50s in winter, it's like,
It's like when it gets
what a
cold in
beautiful
Florida
day.
and people are wearing their winter coats and it's like 45.
Yeah, it was
you
like
know?
that when we were down in Miami.
Yeah.
Down in Miami, they're like in puffy jackets. And it was like in the upper 50s. Like thick puffy jackets like you'd see on the ski.
They better bring the winter coat out.
It's like, I'm like, dude, I'm walking around with like a hoodie, you know?
Did you see some of the clips from that winter storm down there?
Yeah.
Like they have no idea
No
how to
clue.
handle this. There's like public works guys sitting on the back of pickup trucks, like just
With
doing like
salt.
cups of salt. Like, they have no.
It's like salt from your table.
Yes.
They're like salting the street.
Did you see the guy in his driveway with the pink Himalayan salt grinder?
Yes. Yes.
Grinding it?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. I
That
love
would
it.
be a great clip.
Dude, it's like Tiffany at work the other day showed me she has like a relative in Florida in Louisiana or somewhere down south, and she said, "Yeah, my relatives got snowed in today," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's crazy." And she's like, "You want to see the picture?" And she holds it up, and their front lawn had like a little bit of snow in it. It's like they got snowed in. It's so funny.
Snowed in Atlanta.
You can't move though if it's on the
No.
streets. They can't get it up. You know? Yeah.
In fact, I was talking to Ethan. He's in Tampa, and this is like the party weekend in Tampa. It's called Gasparilla Fest. I had never heard of it until he moved down there. It's like some pirate fest, and he said like it's going to be 30s, 40s, and 50s. And I'm like, well, everyone's going to be like, this is the coldest Gasparilla Fest ever.
Ethan will be fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's it, dude.
That is awesome.
That's their snowplow. They're like, "Hey, Joe and Frank, here, take these salt shakers. Get on the
ready
back
for
of the truck."
snowstorm.
Shake it like a salt shake.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's snow removal in Florida. It's so stupid.
What?
It's like, wait, just like stay at work.
Hey,
Like,
don't even do that.
It's more like littering than anything.
Yeah.
It's
Like now, what are you gonna do?
like
You got
oh,
salt
that's
in the
gonna,
road.
woo, that's gonna really make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You
somebody
rim
goes
your
stupid.
margaritas with down there. There's no salt left.
Yeah, right.
The only thing better would be like if a car like slid into them.
Yeah, right.
All right, what do we got today, Mr. Mayor? What do
Another
we got?
crazy
What
week.
do we got?
Another crazy week. I'm getting. I have like protesters that follow me around. I've talked about it a few times, and we had Mayor's Night Out this week, and we knew that the protesters from Briar East Woods would be there, so we made preparations this time. Because what they're doing now is I have open public format, so like you could just show up and ask me a question.
Why don't you explain kind of? I mean, I know
Mayor's
we've probably
Night
done
Out
it
is a
before,
month.
but
It's a 6 times a year event. We do it one in each district. I've been doing it for 21 years. They're very good meetings. Usually people like to show up. If they have a problem, they get to ask the mayor or a department head a question, and we try to resolve it right there. And if we can't, we take your information and get back to you the next day.
I
So
think
they've
that-
proven popular.
I think the cool thing about it is when you kind of forget that Tom's been mayor for 21 years, 2 decades, right? And when he started doing this, the only other place we had heard of it was the mayor of South Bend from Joe Kernan.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and he had done it a couple times, and Tom was like, "We're going to do it every month," and it's literally he's done it. I mean, I don't know, hundreds sometimes, right?
We used to do it 11 times a year, and then we cut down to 6 times a year, and I've been doing it for 21 years, so do the math.
Yep.
Hundreds of meetings like this, okay?
And you have every department head there.
Yeah.
And
They're great meetings. They're televised, so the public could see it. They're put on Go Hammond TV. And, John, how many views would a Mayor's Night Out get on Go Hammond?
Good question.
Couple grand?
Yeah.
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 Couple thousand views.
Depending on how hot the topic.
and
Yeah, if I messed up, you can get 15,000.
I messed up.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing, and I've heard you say this probably, if you have 6 Mayor's Night Outs a year, you probably say it at 4 Mayor's Night Out of the year, and you say, like, someone will ask a question, and it'll be like, whatever it is, right? I don't know. It's a garbage can question, or it could be something else, like something about a street. And you're like,
Or
this
a
is
house.
why,
Yeah.
this is why we have Mayor's
Yeah,
Night.
I did that again this time. There was
Yeah.
a real good issue that came up about a building we'd never heard of.
Yep.
And the gentleman was really upset, and I was like, thank you. Like, because he said, I've been calling in on this for 18 years, and I'm like, come on, man.
A little
I'm like-
exaggeration.
I'm like, I'm one of the more aggressive mayors when it comes to knocking buildings down. I get people complain I knock buildings down too much.
Right.
And this guy's like, I've had a shitty building in my neighborhood for 18 years, and you guys are doing nothing about it. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like, but like we took it down to information, and I actually by the end of the meeting, I thought he was going to be anti, and by the end of the meeting, he was big time supportive of. Because I was getting beat up as this meeting went on. I started getting beat up by these environmentalists from the Dune Dusters that showed up, and this guy came up to me after, and he's like, you're a great mayor. I appreciate you very much.
Yeah, and I
was
think,
thank you.
But see, that's the kind of stuff I think that show that Mayor's Night is able. It's able for the residents to get their question answered. It also allows the residents to see their mayor in action.
Get that shit kicked out of them sometimes.
Yeah, and
because
appreciate what you do for the city.
Yeah, because I think most people in the city understand this issue. It's not a super easy issue because we're trying to build a bridge that gets us over stop trains. And these trains stop, and they'll stop for an hour. They'll stop for 3 hours. They'll stop for 15 minutes, but they just stop.
And it's a 100-year-old problem.
Yes.
Hammond, Indiana is situated,
especially this part of the city,
on all lines going to Chicago.
So this part of the city will come to a grinding halt whenever there's a train stopped, and we've just gotten used to it over time. But we have a proposal from the state of Indiana where they're going to pay for our bridge. Basically, 80% of the bridge will be covered by them. And that covers most of the problems with the stop trains. So we're really excited about that. I got Norfolk Southern, a rail line, and the federal government to pay for a pedestrian bridge that takes care of the remaining part of the problem. So between these two bridges that we're building, I've solved the problem. If there's a stop train in Hessville, everybody could still do their business. It's not ideal, but we could work. Like right now, we have to take detours, long detours to get around these stop trains. So once these bridges are built, the pedestrian bridge that's being built by the federal government and the car bridge that's being built by the state, once they're done, we're going to be able to move. We're going to be able to conduct business even with stop trains. And they will be stopped because trains don't give a shit about Hammond, Indiana.
And they won't. Another benefit of this, and our public safety officials have talked about this, including the latest time at Mayor's Night Out, is that now they won't, ambulances and fire engines and police cars won't have to detour around stop trains.
True.
You can't. So for someone like myself who was born and raised in Hessville, those listening, you cannot underestimate how this has essentially held a neighborhood hostage for decades.
It's like a way of life.
This train thing.
Centuries.
My parents still live there.
Yeah.
Every time I go, train either going there or coming back.
Or stopped.
Yes, or stop.
Like, John, growing up, how often, in your mind, do you think you heard your parents complain about trains?
Oh, to this day, every day my dad sends me a text message
So, John,
about it.
just, let me ask you a question. I've never asked you this before, John. Your dad thinks I'm doing the right thing, right?
Yes.
Because, that's the thing, is so we polled, Kevin. You did 2 polls in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and they were...
In the neighborhood, we defined what we considered the neighborhood. We wanted to know how these particular people felt. If you're outside of that neighborhood, no offense. I didn't care how you felt because I want to know how these people that live in close proximity to the rail lines feel. If you live a mile away from that, I appreciate your opinion, but I didn't really care about it as much as these people. So, I had Kevin conduct the polling for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's like and you're always going to get criticized for any poll or it was done the wrong way or it's loaded questions. And really, I didn't feel like it was. John worked on it with me. We worked on it with a couple people. We worked on the wording.
What was the intent behind the poll, John?
It was to determine whether this neighborhood would like the overpass.
Did I come up to you guys and say, I want it to turn out this way?
Make sure it turns out this way.
I don't think you were even involved in any of the meetings
I wasn't.
All he was involved
drafting.
with was,
do this.
I want to make sure we get a poll.
Yes,
and then
I want to know how the neighbors
feel.
feel.
And I think we grabbed the boundaries and showed it to them. I don't even know if they were tweaked. They were like, okay, his whole goal was, like you just said, make sure the people that are impacted the most by this get a chance to vote on it.
And number 2 was, I remember this, Kevin, was you and I were we have to ask these questions in a way where people can't say it was fixed or leading or anything like that.
You want to get over stop trains, right? Question mark.
Isn't Mayor Tom right that we want this bridge?
Right. So we asked him objectively, so that you wouldn't know where we were coming from when you read the question.
Well, I want to say one more thing about the poll. One more thing about the poll is that this wasn't the first poll that you asked us to do in the city.
We've done numerous of
Mayor
different
Tom
neighborhoods.
has done different neighborhoods where the poll has actually surprisingly come back different than what we thought was going to come back.
And we killed the project.
And the project was stopped.
Right. So this was, we were curious. We wanted to know how they felt. And if they supported us, we were willing to go out on a limb.
And here's the shocking results.
Twice.
Everybody wants the fucking overpass.
It was 2/3 to 1/3.
Yeah, I was going to say it was closer to 70.
Which, by the way,
75, maybe it's 2/3,
surprising.
whatever.
That's
2/3 to 1/3 or greater.
Yeah.
So we're okay. 1/3 is clearly against it, or 1/4 to 1/3 is clearly against it. 3/4, 2/3 to 3/4 are supportive of it. I'm going for it. So we line up the funding 8 years ago, and we get this thing going. 8 years ago. Yep. So we're way down the line. We're literally getting to the point now where construction begins next year, and now suddenly a group of interested citizens wants to block the project because the bridge is going to come through an area of, of trees. And we're going to have to cut down probably greater than 200 trees to make this happen.
And by the way,
hold on.
Yeah, sorry.
So that's not ideal. We don't want to have to do that. But in my opinion, you have to prioritize what's more important. The trees, by the way, I could replant trees, and I will. I'm going to replant them 3 to 1, right?
3 to 1.
So is it more important those trees, or is it more important to get us over the stop train? And I made the decision that, just like the neighborhood, I think it's more important to get over the stop trains.
Yeah, all I was going to say was that, just to give people a perspective that may not be familiar with this is not a county park. It is not a city park.
Nope.
It is not a national park. It is not a state park. In fact, there is a county park not too far from it, called
Hundreds of
Gibson
acres.
Woods. There is protected dunes not too far of it in the Nature Conservancy, or the Shirley Hines Land Trust.
Right.
And so this is not a designated
It's not
anything
protected at all.
of natural area. I don't want people to think like, oh my gosh, it's like
We're going through a park or
Right.
something. No, this
And-
is just a wooded area that's never been protected. It's not even.
Right here.
I talked to an environmentalist that says, yeah, there's dunes there, but they're not high quality dunes. And because they're not high quality dunes, there's no organization like Shirley Hines Land Trust or anybody like that that's going to try to save it,
That
because
ever has.
they're called low quality dunes. So basically, I'm being a good mayor now, even though I get all these people showing up, even though that they're terrorizing and they're like calling me names and they're like, insinuating things and, lying. Even though all this is happening, I'm still trying to be nice to them in public. I'm still being professional, and I'm making it clear I'm doing this fucking bridge. There's no doubt about it. I understand where you guys are coming from. I'm sorry you feel this way. I totally 100% disagree, and I'm building this bridge. So now it sort of came to a head this week with Mayor's Night Out.
How long has this group been coming to meetings?
3 years, probably, right?
Holy
I would say
2 to 3 years.
the first
2
time
to
I
3 years.
remember it being organized was at the public hearing.
Mayor's
at
Night. It was Scott Middle School. That was a big one.
Yeah, and I don't think that was Mayor's Night. It was
ProPublica was at that. I think it was Mayor's Night.
Was
but
it?
I'm pretty sure it was.
I thought it was like the state hearing, public hearing, or whatever.
Maybe it was.
I just remember it was on my birthday, and it had
Yeah,
to be 2 or 3
it was
years ago.
That was a bad meeting, and there was tons of cameras there, and
Yeah.
it was same thing. It's like nothing's changed. They keep following us around. They keep saying the same stuff. They keep repeating the same lies. I keep on saying I support the project. The neighbors support the project. But the problem is the people that are pissed off are super loud, and the people that support the project see me getting kicked about, and they're like, fuck that. I'm not stepping up right now. I support the project, but Mayor Tom gets paid to get beat up. I don't get paid to yell out, hey, I think it's a good idea, so that all the dune dusters could focus their hate and energy towards me. So the supporters just sit back quietly and let me get beat up.
And I think, by the way, that is not atypical of what's happening in people's community. When you believe that the government is doing something that you want, you kind of sit back and you're like, I got other stuff to do, man. I got to take my kids to soccer practice. I got to cook dinner. I'm not going to go out and say great job,
Right.
government.
So
but when people are pissed,
Right.
they go out.
Right.
So there's 50 people or 100 people or 20 people or whatever it is at these meetings.
Closer to 20.
Yeah, that are
Less
against it. Who knows how many are even residents? And then there's thousands of people. The Hessville part of Hammond probably is 15,000 people. Call it 20,000. I don't know. And
I wonder if we held a rally for the overpass, how many people would show up? Do you think it would be
I don't know.
big?
I just think four.
You're not as
yeah.
right. If you're pissed, you're there.
Yeah.
If you're supportive, you're like, hey, maybe I'll show up, but I also got to go to Johnny's baseball game.
Mayor Tom will
and,
take care of this. He
right.
already said he was going to
Dude,
build
Mayor
a bridge.
Tom's got a huge team. I don't need to
That's
show up
right.
because his team will be there, and
That's
they
right.
won't even notice if I'm
It's like
gone.
with elections when there's an issue that people are really pissed about. They'll come out and vote about it, right? Or vote against the candidate.
Let's do a couple clips from that night. John put a few of them together.
Yeah, so I watched this Mayor's Night Out from start to finish, and there was something interesting that was a little different about it, in my opinion. It wasn't just about the overpass at this meeting. They came with no less than 4 different environmental issues now. It's not just the overpass. It's
When you say they, so the Dune Dusters, but they're progressive environmentalists, right?
yeah, I think that's a fair,
Is that fair?
That's
Kevin?
fair.
I think that's they're definitely
They're
they're
far
environmentalists.
left. They're far left.
Yeah, I mean, these are environmentalists that care about every living creature and every tree and every bush
fish
and
and smelt
and
and
God love them,
everything, right?
whatever. This
Yes,
is their
okay.
position.
So anyway,
So there was the EPA issue at Mayor's Night. There was this came out of nowhere. The former state line power plant issue and lakefront access.
Oh yeah, the data center. Right.
That came out of left field. And there was
Bizarre.
something about cutting down some shrubbery at Wolf Lake, and then
The invasive Phragmites.
Yes. No.
Oh God,
native
Smitty got his
friend.
ass kicked, huh?
oh my
They're like,
god.
God damn it, Smitty.
And then the overpass. So let's start with the EPA one, if that's okay.
Sure.
This is just
By the way, nice jacket. Look at that.
that is really sharp.
Good.
That's the one I got when I was at DNC.
I recall.
That's the one when I was going to be on stage.
Nice
That's the one I
background too. Look at those windows.
went. Yeah.
This is Tom pointing out that one of these dune dusters doesn't even live in Hammond.
Oh, I loved this part.
Like, this is a tricky issue, but like I do have a problem with getting yelled at by people that aren't even my boss. I do have a problem with that. I would never in a million years show up to another community and yell at their decision makers about something that's in their community. This has nothing to do with you, Highland resident. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. I don't care what you say. I don't work for you. I work for the residents of Hammond. So
I have a follow-up back here, Mayor.
I feel strongly
Hi,
about
so
that.
I live in Gary, Indiana, yes, but I work for SCA planting trees in your city, and I attend college in your city.
Thank you.
And I also pay taxes for all of Lake County and state taxes, which means I am technically your boss. And on top of that, the water...
My boss
the
is
sewer,
vote
the sewer
Hammond.
don't interrupt me.
My
The
boss
sewer
is-
water...
I got to stop there for a second.
Don't interrupt me.
Yeah.
I'm
pumpkin.
your boss.
Right.
Don't interrupt
I
me.
live in, so by the way, she lives in Gary. I'm your boss. Don't interrupt me. She's talking to the mayor of Hammond.
And I got to be honest. I was watching this live, and all I could think was, my parents would slap the shit out of me if I was this rude
the
in
mayor.
public.
Dude, this little
Dude.
girl never got disciplined when she was a kid. She's rude, young lady. She's
Where
just
does
rude.
this
and
rudeness come from?
No idea.
It's a,
No,
it-
it's internet, and no one gets their ass beat anymore.
that's
We're
exactly
talking
it,
shit.
Jill. This little girl needed to get spanked when she was a little kid, acting like an asshole, and she doesn't. So now she carries that asshole trait into her adulthood.
And she wants to be on TV, so she wants
She's
to be
on
on
TV.
the internet.
Congratulations, you're on TV, and you look like a jerk. And she's sitting there, a Gary resident, telling the mayor of Hammond, "You work for me." And then I did. Did you get my response in this, John? This is a good response.
My boss
the
is
sewer,
vote
the sewer
Hammond.
don't interrupt me.
My
The
boss
sewer
is-
water is shared between Gary, Whiting, Hammond,
Not true.
and Highland.
False.
And that's not
That's
true.
not true at all.
Completely false.
So don't interrupt me.
I'm going to
Let
say
me tell
bullshit
these things.
that's wrong.
I'm going to tell you things, Mayor, that are completely false, and don't interrupt me.
Can I say my favorite part of her comment? And maybe it's coming.
It's
John.
it. It's
Okay,
it
all
at
right.
the end. Keep
All right,
going.
Here we go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And in 2023, BP was fined $42 million for polluting our water with
the fuck
benzene
does that have to
already.
do with me?
And you're
Nothing.
going to continue polluting it? I would much rather have that extra charge because we are fighting for clean water.
I'm
If
glad
it
a
means
Gary
clean
resident
water-
is happy with me tripling Hammond residents' charges. I'm really glad
That was my
about that.
favorite.
It means a lot when a Gary resident tells me, raise rates on your residents, I support that. It means a lot to me to hear that from a Gary resident. Thank you.
Was that sarcasm?
Totally. Like, what a Gary resident. I want you to raise the rates on your residents. Like, oh, thank you very much, Gary resident, for telling me to double or triple the rates on my
It's
residents.
like, I'd rather have that fee.
Thank you, Gary resident. Appreciate you. You look like an idiot. The freaking young lady to the Highland resident that came in there yelling at me. I would never in a million years show up to another town council about something clearly related to their town and tell them they're a bunch of idiots.
and point at them and say, don't interrupt me.
Good God, man.
Well, this is let's do that clip. So this is about suddenly now they're concerned that there's no lakefront access near the former State Line power plant current data center,
right.
which just
Which also
came
is a
out of
lie, by the way.
nowhere. Yeah, it's a lie, and it came out of where did this come from? Who wants to go there anyway? Isn't it like a cliff face? Like, is there not like a beach?
But you could go to the flagpole.
Yeah,
out
the
there.
flagpole.
Right. And
Okay.
there's a bike trail
There's a
out there.
bench.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a bench. There's a bike trail. I go out there all the time.
Well, this Highland resident wants a rainfall canopy or something. And a butterfly garden.
This was funny.
Good
Did you
luck.
catch my comment on
Oh,
that?
it's
Yes,
hilarious.
Classic.
Let's see this.
Yeah, this is, when this first was tore down,
What's that, sir?
there was a lot of discussion about
Is
doing
that the State Line?
state line generation. When it was first tore down, there was a lot of discussion about doing something with the Marquette plan to create public access there. And I would say, especially since the city owns a lot of that property now, it should be easily done
true.
now that the city has a lot of ownership over there, and you should be able to create some kind of parkway around the edge there of the lake, and they could still secure behind it, but you could still have public access
You ever go there?
to the lake. Yeah.
You could do it right now.
Well,
You could
what
do it
kind
right now.
of do you have a tree canopy there? Do you have
I don't have a tree canopy.
do you have butterfly gardens? Do you have a rain garden?
What's a
Do
rain
you
garden?
have some atmosphere there that
No, I
you
don't,
know?
Terry. So But you could, Marquette plan was access. You have access. You can go there right now. I've done it 100 times. Okay. Yeah.
Tom, the look on
I
Tom's
rode the
face is
bike trails in Highland
exasperation.
Hold it, this part right here.
Freaking water.
Go back to this.
Yeah.
I rode the bike trails in Highland a lot. There's no freaking water, butterfly gardens and tree canopies in Highland. There's not one single thing. You can't even get a damn drink of water in Highland. It's ridiculous. Like, why don't you go to the Highland Town Council and bring this up? Because I'm a cyclist. I go through Highland. There's not one of these damn things there.
Why do you put yourself through this?
It's like exasperation.
I get
on
asked
his
this
face.
every month now. My staff all wants me to stop Mayor's Night Out like pronto. They're like, Mayor's Night Out isn't what it used to be. You got a bunch of assholes that don't even care which district you're in. We were in the 1st district. All these assholes from the Dune Dusters are from the 6th district. They don't even respect the 1st district residents. So they show up and slam their meeting. And it's like, we are more important than you, the residents of the 1st district.
And I just think like it would be a bummer, and I think it would be unfortunate if Mayor's Night Out got canceled because there are so many
bummer.
residents.
That would be a bummer, man.
Well, I know you wouldn't mind,
Yeah, I would
right?
miss
And
it.
probably a lot of people
I would miss
mind.
it a lot.
But you know what?
The
There's
3
so
hours
many
of getting yelled at
there's
every
so many
month.
residents
Yeah.
that get something out of it
I
that
agree.
do come, and
but
they're
then
good
you have
people.
assholes like Ken.
I know.
And
And
then his group that are like, we're going to terrorize Mayor's Night Out. We're going to show up and dominate the agenda so that nobody could get any questions. And then other people with legitimate issues leave because they see these green shirt jerks show up and dominate. I mean, and by the way, the green shirt jerks are from Highland and Gary, and they want to double and triple your fucking sanitary rates. And they're yelling at me to do that.
Yeah.
These jerks slam a meeting like
You just
ridiculous.
hate to see it ruined because of some bad apples. Because
Yeah.
there are a lot of people that do have legitimate questions that are
Green
residents.
shirt, bad apples. I like it.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
And I think the tide is, I think the overall tide with this is you've given them 3 years of meetings, of public comment.
Yes, with no response, basically, other than me just defending the project, right?
Like, enough's enough. I think that's the general public consensus here is your mind hasn't changed. And I'm going to play this clip right now of how you're kind of starting to approach this differently.
Yeah.
This is at the end. This is at the very end of Mayor's Night Out. There it is.
Listen, you're not running Mayor's Night Out, ma'am. Sit down. No, you don't stand up and run the show. You have to sit down. You have to sit down. That's not the way it works. This is Mayor's Night Out. It's all right, because there's not much to talk about. I didn't change my mind. There's nothing that's happened recently. Listen, there's nothing that's happened. I'm not going to allow you to follow me from every Mayor's Night Out and blow it up. It's not going to happen. I made my mind up. I've talked to hundreds of people. Listen. You can practice your right to free speech. I'm just choosing not to participate. So I enjoy you all coming to Mayor's Night Out. It's a lovely night. I want to have a nice night. I'm going to go home and eat dinner because I haven't eaten dinner yet. I wish you all a nice evening. Looking forward to driving on the Governor's Parkway Bridge when it's finally built. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
That was the end of Mayor's Night Out.
That was the end.
Can you name that bridge after Ken or somebody when you put it up?
The Dune Duster Bridge.
There you go.
I don't know. I was thinking another thing too was how do you calculate over 3 years the countless hours they've, wasted. Think about how many people have to stay over, the staff, for these meetings that they just kind of interrupt
And stretch
Trying
out.
to hijack.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and the increase in security, how much taxpayer money has resulted in this?
Yeah, there was a lot of cops at Mayor's Night. And then
Well,
when I got
because it's
walked
unsafe.
out because honestly, because then after the meeting, Ken goes up to my staff and starts cursing at him, young ladies, and he's a man. He's like a 50-year-old man, cursing at them and
What?
telling them jerk, total
What?
asshole. Because, he's possessed by this, and he doesn't see the logical side that 75% of his neighbors see. All he sees is, you're taking my little hangout spot where I used to get high, It's,
Yeah. Wow.
But anyway, I'm done with these guys.
Well,
It seems like it.
I am.
Nothing's
I'm done
changed.
with them. By the way,
enough.
you know what's interesting, John? Scott Rakos, the councilman in that district, ran for election against Ken Rosick.
the leader of the Dune Dusters.
And this was the issue in
Yeah.
Hessville. Guess what? Scott won easily. He goes
Overwhelmingly.
So I ran for election that same year. Outspoken supporter of this project. I didn't even get an opponent. So I ran. Scott ran. This was the topic du jour, and we won. We polled twice in the neighborhood. Overwhelming support. I'm sorry, Dune Dusters. I'm building this bridge. I don't care how many meetings you show up. I'm building this bridge. This bridge
over.
is going up.
Yeah.
The feds are paying for it. The pedestrian bridge. The state's paying for the traffic bridge. God bless America.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
It's done. Yeah, it's over.
Well, it was an exciting mayor's night, and hopefully this is not the last mayor's night because I'm a fan of it. Not that it, we wouldn't, not that all your staff wouldn't mind having 3 or 4 hours back on their Wednesday nights 6 times a year.
A lot of my staff would love that.
Yeah, but you know what? To me, this is a great public service that you've done for 20 years, and I don't want to see it end because of a couple of, complainers.
All right, so we're going to move on. Thanks for listening to this first part. When you come back, I'm going to blow your freaking mind. Like, there's a...
Whoa!
I'm telling you, man.
Wait
We
a
don't
minute.
say that on Lock Pot often.
You better put the breaking
So,
news
like,
on.
we're gonna show you a clip from Indiana Secretary of State's.
Oh, this is good.
Indiana Secretary of State hired his brother-in-law.
Oh, don't give it away.
No, I just want to tease you because, like, I think most Republicans are against nepotism, and most Republicans
most
they pass.
Democrats are too.
And most Democrats are too. and we have supermajorities down there, and the supermajority fought real hard to get Diego Morales elected Secretary of State, and he just immediately starts hiring friends and family. So we're going to play a clip for you. It's going to blow your mind. I'm telling you, you got to stick around just to see this clip. So
It's as good as any Senate hearing.
Agreed.
Clip you've
you're
seen.
not going to believe, and this happened just like last week, and you're not going to believe the kind of shit that's going on in Indianapolis.
And
right
by the
now.
way, I mean, Nair and I have been to so many committee hearings.
Yes.
I've never seen one.
There's
Very
no
few
respect.
are they like this.
no respect whatsoever
It's crazy.
at all. So come back. You're going to love it. So let's go ahead and do some ads, starting off with our season premier studio sponsor, Power in Indiana Lake County. It's our source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Power in Indiana Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana businesses and homes alike. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Power in Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at powerindiana.org.
Frankie V's, no need to dress up. It's a casual place. Bring the whole family. We have plenty of space. A hidden gem in Hammond. You don't have to drive far. Delicious food, great service, and yes, a full bar. Try our homemade pizza chips, Italian beef, sausage, marinara, and more. We have delicious pizza, pasta, and Italian foods galore. Don't go where they don't remember you. It's just not the same. Come to Frankie V's where everyone really knows your name. Visit us today at thefrankieV's.com for daily specials, full menu, and hours.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with someone who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-5544-LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Whether you're taking part in Dry January or just looking for a great tasting beer without the buzz, try the new Michelob Ultra Zero with only 29 calories and 0 alcohol. Zero is an easy drinking non-alcoholic light lager with the great taste of Michelob Ultra that you know and love. The subtle citrus aroma combines with a refreshingly crisp and clean finish, making Zero the perfect beer choice to ring in the new year and keep those resolutions on track. Michelob Ultra Zero joins the fastest growing family of beers that supports your active lifestyle, your health and wellness goals with zero regrets. Head over to the Cal Brew or the Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for deals on this great family. Details. No deals. Details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra family with beers and cheers responsibly.
Prestmer Insurance Agency. For decades, Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. Prestmer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. Prestmer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you. Thanks to our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
Welcome back, everybody. as we indicated earlier, I'm not sure exactly what day this took place, but the legislature just went back into session in Indiana last week, and bills are getting making their way through the process right now, including Indiana's budget. Obviously, everybody puts in for the budget. The governor puts in for the budget. So does the Secretary of State, as well as the treasurer, auditor, et cetera, et cetera. And the budget is scrutinized. Obviously, if you're a Democrat, you usually ask tough questions of the office holders if they're of the other party, and it works both ways. But right now, all office holders in Indiana are Republican, as well as a supermajority. So what happens is Democrats try to take knocks at Republicans during the budget process, which is what we're witnessing. It's a House member. He's a great state rep. His name is Ed Delaney. He's from Indianapolis. We've known Ed for a number of years, 20 plus years. He's a very smart man. He's an attorney, just sharp as a whip. He's been a state rep longer than I've been mayor. So this is Ed Delaney from Indianapolis asking our 2-year now Secretary of State Diego Morales why he hired his father-in-law at like $110,000 a year. Brother-in-law.
And by the way, a new position created, I think.
Just for his brother-in-law.
And just a reminder about Diego, he got, he actually got he got nominated by his party at their convention. That's how you become Secretary of State on the ballot in Indiana. And he actually, the far right of his party decided not to go with the woman who was Secretary of State for 4 years and nominated him.
Yep. So
yeah, his path to office was a wild one.
Yeah, because he wasn't supported by the governor, and they still won. So,
and didn't he have residency issues too?
Yeah, but like this guy, so basically he doesn't feel like he's accountable to Democrats, certainly, but he wasn't accountable to the last governor, and he still got elected. I'm not sure where he stands with Braun, but I think if you ask Diego's like, I'm nobody's my boss. I'm the fucking man. I won without governor support. I won without Democrat support. So like when he sees Ed Delaney asking him a question, he's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like you don't
matter.
You don't matter. You're a Democrat. That's the attitude he takes. And I know that I'm using crude language, but I'm right about this, guys. This is how Republican office holders approach a guy like Ed Delaney. By the way, you notice in the front row, our friend, Lockpod friend, Mike Andrade, right there. So Mike got to witness this entire exchange. So we've built this up. So it's a 2-minute exchange. So listen closely. You're going to love this.
How many relatives, including in-laws, do you have on your payroll in your various groups?
We hire based on qualifications and solely based on qualifications.
I'm assuming they're all beautifully qualified. How many of these beautifully qualified relatives do you have on your staff, in-laws or not in-laws?
Everyone on my staff are uniquely qualified for the positions.
I'm not questioning that. I think they're all great. How many of them are there, and what is their relationship, and what are you paying them?
I appreciate the question, sir, but I came here to do a job, and I'm going to get the best of the best, and I'm glad to tell you that
I'm giving you that they're the best. What are you paying, and how many are there?
I think there is no secret. There is a transparent portal there for everyone to see them. So
the transport portal tells me who's your brother-in-law, who's your cousin.
Well,
that's a hell of a portal.
Well, I'm very proud to tell you that I stand with my team members. They are the best in the business.
Did you hire one of your brother-in-laws for a newly created position and pay him more than $100,000?
I appreciate the question, sir.
You did, didn't you? You're not answering? You did do that, right?
I do have the best of the best in our office, and I'm proud to say Secretary of State's office has the best state government employees.
Mr. Secretary, I've been here a long time, but I've never seen such an abject refusal to tell the public what you're doing, and you're here asking for millions of dollars in increases for your office, and you won't answer these fundamental questions. I will have to vote against any part of the budget for your agency, given that. You take no bid contracts, you have a bonus program that is not an organized program, you won't tell me who your in-laws are or relatives who work for you, you won't deal with the fact that you give no bid contracts and then get tens of thousands of dollars in political contributions. So just for the record, I'm not asking you more questions because I'm sick of these refusals. And you're going to get a no vote on every aspect of your budget from this seat, and I hope from many others. Thank you for your...
So, like, while Ed was going on that, Diego, the office holder, was sitting there smiling like a dick.
Like a cat that ate the canary.
He's just like, screw you, Representative Delaney. I don't have to answer your questions.
I'm going to have protection of all my friends.
Of the supermajority. So, like, that's what we voted for, guys. Like, I mean, government doesn't work when you have entitled pricks like Diego that say, fuck you. I don't have to answer your questions. That's not government. That's not democracy. It's supposed to be checks and balances, guys. We're his fucking boss. And this little prick hires his family members, contrary to Indiana law, and then laughs in their face when they're asking questions in the fucking Indiana State House. It's bullshit, man. Like, why isn't this in the freaking Wall Street Journal?
Or, on Fox News or on CNN or on MSNBC or anywhere.
How about our local papers?
Yeah.
This guy he's a failure already. He's only been in office 2 years, and he's like, screw you. That's who we're electing. Guys that are like, screw you. I don't have to answer your questions. I could hire so can I hire my brothers? I can hire my brothers? Okay. So is that what we want, government? I could go hire my whole fucking family. And there's not one McDermott that works for the city of Hammond other than me. Okay? I could hire my whole damn family, right?
But Tom, his brother-in-law's the best in the business.
He's very uniquely
His
qualified.
team is uniquely qualified. They're the best.
I've never seen, even in a Senate hearing, I've never seen someone just not answer the question.
And just kind of almost
not even try.
Like blatantly in your face say F off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And don't worry, you don't matter. You guys have very few members here, and I know my supermajority is going to protect me.
Yes.
And I would love to see his supermajority not protect him.
Agree. They shouldn't. They should. Like, I would have so much more respect. Sorry, Joe.
No, that's okay. I didn't
What
know
were you
he
gonna
was.
say, Joe?
I just want to know how the vote, like, who did, like, everybody else vote?
These are good questions.
I don't know if we checked the vote. I'm sure it went out on party lines.
These are really good questions.
Don't ask us
Stopped at
for
the end of the
follow-up.
clip.
Dude, like we pre-showed last night.
I mean, this was enough getting the
You
clip.
could have looked, damn it. It was on the note.
When's the last time Jill has looked at a show note?
Listen, I send you guys gold, and it never gets in.
We
Welcome
run with
to my
your gold
world.
sometimes.
Welcome to
It's
my
like
world.
actually mining for gold, though. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't.
Hey, by the way, in chat, there's a growing pro-bridge movement taking place. They're going to get T-shirts. They're going to wear them to the next meeting.
Thank you.
People are going to show up in support of the Hessville overpass.
I'm sick of getting beat up, man. I really am. It's like they're wearing on me because I have to keep saying the same shit over and over again. But they're wearing on me, and it's annoying. But it hasn't changed my mind in the slightest bit. I want to make that clear. I'm like, I still talk to Hessville residents regularly about this issue, and I know that we're doing the right thing. And I realize that there's a vocal minority that's against this project. So,
What do you think the upshot of Diego's performance here will be?
it's gone viral. This is the kind of stuff that Hoosier voters need to see.
I mean,
so that they realize that just voting Republican even for assholes like Diego, it's not the answer. Like, you have to educate yourself so that they're not entitled little pricks like Diego.
John, as a Republican, what do you feel when you see this?
I was surprised to see this because the last I had heard about Diego, I kind of got the idea that even his own party wasn't like the biggest fan. Was I wrong?
I think
about
that's
that?
accurate.
Okay, like this was like a moonshot. Like somehow he got in this position
For sure. He got super lucky.
But now they love him.
Think about it. He was fired by Rokita.
Right.
Rokita was Secretary of State.
That was him.
Thank you.
Yes.
Put it in perspective, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He was a terrible employee
And
under
Rokita is one of our favorite targets. And
Yeah.
Rokita was like, this guy's an asshole. Right? We need to get rid of this guy. Rokita fired him.
Yes, Rokita fired him, and then I think he got fired maybe again or something. I don't know, but he was. Yeah.
But wasn't there a thing too where he like had a house that he didn't live in, but he like hired people to like turn the lights on and
That
off?
I don't remember.
I do remember
to make
something
it seem
about
like
that.
he lived
Was
there
it
during the
family members?
election.
What was his election? What was his office before this, Joe? Was he?
No, he
I
never
don't
had an
know.
office. No, he did not have an
Really?
office. No, I don't believe so.
Then why would he need residency in a certain place?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't
As
know.
long as he lives in
you
Indiana.
think like he?
Yes, I thought he came from like
Maybe
a
he
district
did.
council.
You might be right.
Something like that, or
I didn't
maybe
think he
like a
did.
county treasurer or something like that.
Okay.
And then he had to live in the county, and he didn't. you know.
I
I remember
remember
something
that.
like that John's talking about. I do
Yeah.
remember something about that. So, but anyway, good segment. I told you we'd blow your mind. I think the upshot of this, Kevin, is Hoosier voters are getting educated on who Diego Morales is and what a piece of crap he is. And when he's primaried, and when the Democrats put up a candidate against him in 2 years, hopefully this kind of stuff is remembered by Hoosier voters.
And they can play this clip as much as they want. I think the other thing I would say is that it does, remind me that it isn't, even though we complain all the time about how we're just in the wilderness here in Indiana, it does show that, government in this instance, this is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to have you're supposed to be able to ask questions to your elected officials. And I think Ed Delaney showed that it's still very important to have Democrats on these committees to show up. Yeah, and to do their job. And Ed, congrats for doing
By the way,
doing
2
your
Democrats
job.
that I saw on that committee are both just excellent Democrats.
Yeah.
So thank God we have guys like Mike Andrade there, Ed Delaney there, asking the tough questions. And even though it's not resulting in the ouster, I mean, honestly, I think this is the kind of thing that the state police should investigate for sure. Isn't nepotism against Indiana code?
I mean, there's a nepotism statute.
Okay, then why isn't the state police investigating Diego Morales right now for violating?
His brother-in-law is extremely qualified. You heard him.
My bad. I keep forgetting that point.
I mean, he's the best of the best.
Does he have somebody on the state police, too?
Yeah, right.
And you know what? Diego will campaign on this, too. He'll raise money on this clip.
And he'll say,
He'll
look,
be like,
Democrats
I fought the
me.
Democrats.
The liberal Democrats are attacking me.
Uh-huh.
Such a jag.
Why is this even an elected position to begin with? Why is this a political
It's like a
position?
it's more like historical.
Historically
like,
elected
Secretary
position.
of State and states are more like.
Well, he is the top election official in the state. I mean, he runs literally. He is the so anything to do with a state election is run through the Secretary of State's office, John, and he is the head of all county clerks and the election
Even
boards.
more reason for it not to be an elected position.
Top election, and he does all the if you have to register a business.
But the good thing, Jill, is the counties run the elections.
Yes.
So like he oversees them technically, but in reality, Lake County runs their own elections. We're not going to let Diego come here and screw off Diego. I want to. He every time he comes near me, he like scurries away. I spoke right after him. He was speaking to all the mayors, and I was just like glaring at him, and he scurried away. Like scurry. Like
with
my
his brother-in-law.
Like when my doggy runs on the steps, I can hear him like tick, 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 across the steps, as like what Diego did when I saw him.
Our live chat is wild. They're giving us
it?
the code that is about nepotism.
Thank you, chat.
Good job, chat.
We have the smartest
I
chat.
wish my chat worked better.
We have the smartest chat. So thank you guys. We're going to come back and talk some Trump, birthright, citizenship.
An individual employed. Sorry, Tom. An
That's
individual
right.
employed in an agency may not hire a relative, except as provided in da 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 da. Yeah,
unless you're a
check it out.
Diego. Unless there's the Diego clause. I think
Exception.
you guys forgot. Yeah, the Diego exception. Right off the bat, the state police can investigate that because he's violating state law. Okay, so like I hope that's happening. Maybe it is happening and we don't realize it. So,
Right.
So anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to do finish the ads, and when we come back, we're going to talk birthright citizenship. And I'm not going to talk about. I know somebody this applies to, and it blew my mind a little bit. It's good for people to say, hey, Tom, I just want you to know this is my situation, because it opens my mind a little bit. Because when I hear about this stuff, I don't think about how it affects even me and the people I know closest to me. So I'm not going to talk about who it is, but this stuff is very interesting to me, and what Trump's talking about is unconstitutional on his face. So let's come back, we'll talk a little 14th Amendment, and then we're going to let you go. But let's start with Byway Brewing. It's a family-friendly microbrewery located right here in Hammond, Indiana. It has a spacious tap room and an outdoor patio, serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater your corporate and private events off-site. Just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Struggling with immigration paperwork? Need a visa, green card, or help with naturalization? Kuklakis Law is here to guide you every step of the way. Our attorneys have the experience to guide you through the complex processes of family immigration, humanitarian relief, and naturalization with ease. Don't face immigration challenges alone. Call Kuklakis Law at 219-671-6347 to schedule a free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business, Rogers Roofing. Rogers has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
You love listening to Matt Reardon on LockPod? I know you do. You listen to him on LockPod. He appears on WJOB and a number of other media outlets, and he also has a business called MCR Partners. It's your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by checking out their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. For tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Sorry.
Go, Kevin.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northeast Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team led by Rick Baldensberger combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs, metal business cards, and printing, always on time within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions using the latest innovation and technology. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Thanks to our sponsors.
14th Amendment. Let's talk.
Hold on.
It's an important amendment.
Let me bring up my... You can't go with a season without me accessing...
Dork
my
alert. Dork alert.
My
Whoop.
handy-dandy
Whip it out,
pocket
Kevin.
Constitution.
Dork alert.
Well,
Dork alert.
I'm going to get... I'm going to get to Amendment 14 while you read it.
Okay. 14th Amendment starts off, all persons born or naturalized
Wait a minute. Say that again.
all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. That's the first line. It's the first line of the 14th Amendment.
You know they haven't read that.
The first line, Jill. It's the first line. All persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
Regardless of their parents' status.
True.
Correct. Like, for example, I can tell you, John, like, or think about early 20th century. My grandparents came over from, my great-grandparents came over from Croatia. They weren't United States citizens yet. 2 of my aunts were born here.
Yep. So that was with
Wow.
Croatia. But like now in the modern day, this is the typical what's happening with immigration now is you have a family that sneaks in from Mexico. Okay.
Sure.
Maybe the mom's pregnant when they sneak in. So the whole family that snuck in is illegal or dreamers, or they fall into a status where they're in immigration limbo. However, the mom, when she gets into America, gives birth to a child. The new child born in America, 14th Amendment covers them. Birthright citizenship, they're American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
That kid that was born in America. The rest of the family is in limbo. But that kid that was born in America, because of the 14th Amendment, is an American citizen. That's settled law, right?
Yeah, I mean, the history, remember the 14th Amendment is not part of the Bill of Rights, right? This little civics lesson. Those are the first 10 amendments. This amendment was done post-Civil War.
Yep.
And it was done during Reconstruction to make sure that former slaves who were not considered citizens, that their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, probably great-great-grandchildren by that time, were citizens.
Yes.
So there's a history of this. Another thing I found about when we were doing research about this is really Canada and the U.S. are unique in having birthright citizenship. A lot of countries in Europe don't have it.
Yeah, the Americas have it.
Yeah, the Americas have it.
Right.
And it's, it's more about, to me, when I think about it, it's more about equality than it is about like who's who. And it like takes away tiers of citizenship, like, oh, well, my great grandpappy was a, plantation owner, so I should be a citizen. But, you came over on a ship from Croatia or Europe and you shouldn't be.
Right.
But now it's like all in the forefront because of, this focus on illegal immigration.
I know, and I'm not going to say who. It blew my mind a little bit, though. And we all in this room right here, we know this person, and this person came up to me and said, "Hey, listen, I'm really nervous about all this. I just wanted you to know, like, if this happens, what should I do?" And I was just blown away. I was blown away because I was like, I don't even think that way, and like it didn't even cross my mind that this person was nervous about this kind of stuff because this person's as American as they come. It's like every single day of this person's life was spent in this country, and she doesn't have an accent. It doesn't even cross my mind. And then I'm like, holy crap. Like and this person's like, I'm fine because I was born here, but I'm worried about my family because they weren't. They snuck in, but I'm fine because I was born here. But this person's very nervous, and it makes me sad that like they read the newspaper. My friend reads a newspaper and is petrified when they see articles like this. And you guys know this person. And it sucks, man, because like, and I don't, it's way better not to have information. It's way better to be ignorant and not have to think about my friends like this.
But I think that's so much of America that they don't, people don't know people that if you're living
That's
in
your
like
freaking neighbor. You don't even
rural
realize
white
it.
America,
It's your
chances
neighbor.
are, you don't even know or may not even know the impact of this. And look, I think we all have varying views on people that are here illegally, right? There's obviously a lot of people that have been coming in. We need to fix the problem somehow, whether that be by statute, if you believe what the president now believes, which is by mass deportation. Something has to get fixed. But birthright citizenship is in the Constitution, in my opinion.
You can't.
If
you're here and you're born here.
I saw the government's argument. They literally are calling into question Native Americans' citizenship.
Wow.
The Justice Department called in and said basically like, look, if there's a question about Native Americans' citizenship because they're not quote unquote subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, because if you're born on a reservation, theoretically you're subject to the jurisdiction of that tribe, then they're like, if we can call into question Native American citizenship, the illegal aliens or legal immigrants' children that are born here have even less of a right to citizenship. It's crazy.
I'm trying to think about this like politically.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the way to explain it. So some issues are a win-win even if you lose them.
True story.
I believe you.
That's a great point you just made.
Okay, so if Trump wins this very uphill battle.
You mean legal battle?
Legal battle.
He's not going to.
His base loves him.
He's not going to, though, John.
He's not going.
But
I
he
know,
doesn't care.
I know.
I hope he doesn't.
But if he doesn't care because of what John just said.
I agree.
And if he loses this legal battle, he's still a hero.
Bing.
And the judges are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Bing.
I think that's
Bing.
how you got to look at
Right.
it.
He wins politically.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
But he knows damn well they're not going to change the Constitution. You can't even do it. It takes at least 3 or 4 years to change the Constitution, at least. So he knows they're not going to change line 1 of the 14th Amendment while he's in office. But he can make this ridiculous, outrageous argument, get shut down by the federal courts, and bitch and complain about the federal judges. And I'm trying to make changes. Nobody's allowing me to.
And you're right, exactly. He even complained about the Seattle. There's 6 lawsuits that now have injunctions on him stopping enforcement of this. And the judge in Seattle is actually a Reagan appointee, and he was always ripping him.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Is that right?
Reagan appointee.
Yeah, it's a Reagan appointee, yeah.
Yeah, you're not Republican enough. Ronald Reagan supporter.
Yep.
But of course, if Trump said something like, "Oh, of course it was a Seattle judge."
He did. He
Of
did. He
course.
didn't bring up the fact that he was a Republican.
The guy's
appointee.
probably dyed in the wool Republican.
Yeah.
He's been a Republican his whole freaking life. Ronald Reagan was in the 1980s. This guy, his entire life, has probably donated to the Republican Party.
he's probably like
And
80 years old.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he gets in there and he makes a decision that's in the fucking Constitution, and Trump's like, you're not Republican enough for me, buddy. It's
I
like,
think he said, "What a surprise," or something like that. Or
What
they
a-
went to a judge in Seattle. We're not surprised.
He may be president, but he's going to hell when it's all over. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
He's a
So-
piece of crap, man.
Not according to him. God saved
yeah?
him for
really?
all of us.
Let's talk to the Pope.
Now we're in the
Hey,
golden
man,
age.
I looked at the big guy. Pope, what do you think?
He
The
got
Pope
thumbs
doesn't-
up or
the
thumbs
Pope doesn't
down.
dig him.
John
I-
McCain gave him a thumbs
The
down.
Pope doesn't dig him. I talked to him. I have inside scoop.
That's a good inside scoop. John, this whole thing, I don't know. I just think it's to me, it's another kind of shot across the bow to people who may be thinking about coming here. Like, well, if you come here and your kids are born,
Yes.
I mean, and I think that's all about he wants to send a message to people that are considering coming here illegally that you have so many hurdles now and so many barriers that it's probably going to be a bad idea. And if that works, I guess if that's a way to keep illegal immigration down, that's part of his.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's fear.
Yeah,
Because I could tell you, I know people in the immigrant community that are straight up scared, which is, I mean,
part of their tactic.
they're here illegally, and I think that's definitely part of the tactic. Is we don't want you to feel comfortable.
And I'm not here supporting all this illegal immigration. I'm just saying that looking at it objectively, this is part of their tactic.
For
is
sure.
Fear.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, another high quality show we gave to you.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you very much, John. Another great job producing another great show. Jill, thank you very much. Another great job producing and participating in a great show.
I didn't produce this.
Okay.
It's all John.
Participating.
Nor did she participate.
Yeah, today.
Today I did.
Kidding.
Kevin, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
You're welcome, man.
And thanks for housing us in your great
my
law
pleasure.
office.
You're back
Today
here.
when I was going to the bathroom in your bathroom. It smelled so nice, and it was nice and warm. And I was like, "This is a nice office."
That's not.
We're really lucky.
Thank you, Teresa and Nicole and everybody else.
It's
that
a really
helped
nice
us.
office.
Thank
You did good. You did good with yourself.
On Tuesday, you said it smelled like a dentist.
It did smell like a dentist on Tuesday. Today it was better, so I appreciate
But
that.
doesn't that mean it's like clean if it smells like a dentist?
Yes, it did. The last one
Thank you,
smelled
Jill.
like a dentist. Remember the original Lockpod Studio?
Yes.
Were you in the original Lockpod Studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
The
Was
OG.
the other
The
one,
one-
the original one?
Yeah.
Yes.
The one we had to go upstairs
The
for.
OG.
That definitely smelled like a dental office. So
I think it was at one point.
It was.
No, there was
Downstairs,
the
it was.
whole
Across the
rest
hall.
of the building.
Yeah, right.
The whole
Yeah.
other half of the building
Yeah.
was dentists.
Yeah.
we had the worst teeth in the whole place.
So what's the title today?
Bad teeth.
Premeditated murder?
Yes. No.
That was a good one, Jill.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to Lockpod. We'll be back on Tuesday. We love you. We appreciate you, and don't forget to share and spread the message of love of Lockpod to others. Take
Love
care.
and hate. Spread
Love
the
and
message
hate.
of love
Take
and
care,
hate.
everybody. Lockpod's out.